Most people throw away old pennies and 5p coins, especially in bad condition. But what if I told you some Queen Elizabeth II coins, even damaged ones, have shocked collectors and sold for life-changing money? Stay till the end, because one of these coins could be hiding in your pocket. First up, the 1982 one-penny coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, even when found in bad, worn, damaged, or heavily circulated condition, is a small but meaningful object that reflects a wide range of historical, economic, cultural, and numismatic themes connected to the United Kingdom in the late 20th century. This coin belongs to the modern decimal currency system of Britain, which was officially introduced in 1971 when the country abandoned its centuries-old pre-decimal system of pounds, shillings, and pence. By the time 1982 arrived, the decimal system had become fully integrated into daily life, and the one-penny coin was one of the most frequently used denominations, appearing in almost every cash transaction, from grocery purchases to public transport fares and school canteens. The obverse of the 1982 penny displays the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was not only the reigning monarch at the time, but also a symbol of continuity, tradition, and stability during a period of economic uncertainty and social change in Britain. The portrait used on this coin is the Arnold Machen effigy, first introduced in 1968 and widely regarded as one of the most dignified and recognizable images of the Queen, showing her facing right, wearing a tiara, with calm facial features that convey authority and restraint rather than extravagance. Around the portrait is the traditional Latin inscription, Elizabeth II, Dei Gratia, Regina, F.D., meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, a phrase that links modern British coinage to centuries of royal and religious tradition. On coins in bad condition, this inscription may appear weak, incomplete, or almost unreadable due to years of friction, metal loss, dirt accumulation, oxidation, and careless handling. Yet traces of the lettering often remain, allowing identification of the monarch and era. The reverse side of the 1982 one-penny coin features the famous portcullis with chains, topped by a crown, a design that has deep roots in British history and symbolizes the authority of Parliament and the governance of the nation. This design was used on all British pennies from 1971 until 2008, making it one of the longest-running reverse designs in modern UK coinage. The word one penny appears above the portcullis, while the date 1982 is struck below it. And even on heavily worn examples, the date often remains visible, which is essential for identification. In coins that are badly circulated, the vertical bars of the portcullis may be almost completely smooth, the chains may disappear into the background, and the crown's fine details may be flattened, showing just how extensively the coin has been used over time. The 1982 penny was struck in bronze, consisting mainly of copper, with smaller amounts of tin and zinc, a composition that gives the coin a reddish-brown color when new. However, in bad condition, the surface color often darkens to deep brown or black, sometimes with uneven patches, stains, scratches, edge damage, and even corrosion. Exposure to moisture, chemicals, or soil can cause greenish corrosion spots, while long-term circulation can leave the coin thin, dull, and lifeless in appearance. From a collector's value perspective, a 1982 one-penny coin in bad condition is considered very common and low value, as millions were minted and circulated widely throughout the UK. Such coins usually have no premium value and are worth little more than their face value or sentimental worth. Collectors typically seek high-grade examples, uncirculated coins with full detail or proof versions produced for collectors, while heavily worn coins are often categorized as poor or fair grade and are mainly used as fillers in date collections or educational examples. Despite this lack of financial value, worn coins play an important role in numismatics because they show how coins actually functioned in society. A badly worn 1982 penny tells a story of movement, trade, and everyday life, having passed through countless hands over many years. It may have been used by factory workers, shopkeepers, children, pensioners, and commuters, making it a silent witness to ordinary moments that are rarely recorded in history books. The broader historical context of the early 1980s adds further depth to this coin's significance. Britain during this period was experiencing economic restructuring, high unemployment, inflation, and major political changes under Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Coins like the 1982 penny circulated during strikes, budget cuts, privatization, and social debate, making them tangible reminders of a challenging but transformative era. Queen Elizabeth II's presence on the coin also highlights the contrast between political change and monarchical continuity, as her reign provided a stable symbol while governments and policies shifted. Additionally, the 1982 penny belongs to the final decade of traditional bronze British pennies, as rising metal costs eventually led the Royal Mint to switch to copper-plated steel pennies in 1992. This makes even a worn example important for understanding the evolution of materials and minting practices in modern British coinage. In conclusion, the one-penny 1982 Queen Elizabeth II coin in bad condition may appear simple, common, and financially insignificant, but it carries layers of meaning that go far beyond its surface. Its worn edges, faded portrait, and smooth reverse are physical evidence of real use, real people, and real history. It represents everyday Britain, the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the decimal currency era, and the economic realities of the early 1980s. While it may never be valuable in monetary terms, it holds educational importance, historical authenticity, and nostalgic power, proving that even the smallest and most worn coins can tell large and meaningful stories when viewed through the lens of history and numismatics. The 2012 5-pence coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, even when found in bad condition, is a clear example of how modern British coinage functions as both a practical tool of daily commerce and a historical record of its time. Issued by the Royal Mint of the United Kingdom, this coin belongs to the decimal currency system that has been in place since 1971 and represents one of the smallest but most frequently used denominations in everyday British life. By 2012, the 5-pence coin had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades, and its role had evolved from an essential unit of small transactions to a familiar symbol of everyday change used in shops, public transport, vending machines, and routine cash exchanges. The year 2012 itself holds special significance because it marked the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, celebrating 60 years of her reign, making all circulating coins from that year part of a historically meaningful period, even if the individual designs were standard and non-commemorative. The obverse front of the 2012 5-pence coin displays the 4th definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait shows the Queen facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and reflects a more realistic and mature depiction of the monarch compared to earlier idealized images. The fine detailing of the hair, facial lines, and tiara was intended to represent dignity, experience, and continuity. Surrounding the portrait is the traditional Latin inscription, Elizabeth II, Dei Gratia, Regina FD, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On a coin in bad condition, the Queen's facial features may appear smooth or partially erased, the tiara details may be flattened, and the lettering may be incomplete or faint due to years of heavy circulation, friction, and contact with other coins. Scratches, edge knocks, discoloration, and general dullness are common indicators of a coin that has spent many years in everyday use, rather than being preserved for collectors. The reverse back of the 2012 5-pence coin features a section of the Royal Shield, part of a unified coin design introduced in 2008. Each UK denomination shows a different segment of the shield, and when arranged together, they form the complete royal arms of the United Kingdom. On the 5p coin, the design consists of bold geometric lines and the inscription, 5 pence, emphasizing national identity and continuity. In heavily worn examples, the fine lines of the shield may become smooth, the lettering may lose sharpness, and surface marks may obscure parts of the design. The coin is struck in cupro nickel, an alloy of copper and nickel chosen for durability and resistance to corrosion. However, even this tough metal can show signs of wear over time, including surface dullness, dark spots, staining, and loss of reflective quality when the coin is kept in bad condition or exposed to moisture and pollutants. From a numismatic value perspective, a 2012 5-pence coin in bad condition is considered extremely common and holds no significant monetary value beyond its face value. Millions of these coins were produced and released into circulation, and they remain easy to find today. Collectors typically seek coins in uncirculated condition, proof strikes, or special commemorative issues, particularly those directly referencing the Diamond Jubilee. Bad condition coins, on the other hand, are usually collected only as date fillers, teaching tools, or examples of circulated currency. However, their lack of financial value does not mean they lack importance. These coins provide insight into how currency circulates, wears, and ages over time, making them useful for educational purposes and for understanding the practical side of numismatics, rather than the investment side. The broader historical context of 2012 adds another layer of meaning to this coin. The United Kingdom in 2012 was experiencing economic recovery following the global financial crisis, while also hosting major international events such as the London Olympic Games. The Diamond Jubilee celebrations brought a renewed focus on the monarchy, tradition, and national identity, and coins in circulation during this time were part of daily life amid these celebrations. The presence of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on the coin reinforces the idea of continuity during change, as her long reign spanned dramatic transformations in British society, technology, and global relations. In conclusion, the 2012 5-pence Queen Elizabeth II coin, in bad condition, is not rare, not valuable in financial terms, and not an investment piece, but it remains historically relevant and educationally meaningful. Its worn surfaces and faded details reflect years of real-world use, connecting it to ordinary people and everyday transactions. As part of the Diamond Jubilee era, it represents a mature phase of Queen Elizabeth II's reign and the modern design language of British coinage. Even in poor condition, the coin serves as a small but authentic witness to history, proving that value in numismatics is not always measured by price, but also by context, usage, and the stories coins carry through time.